Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. So today, like you can see, I'm introducing a new series, a new course, and this course is called the electric guitar course. So in this course we are going to look at all the things that you need to be able to play rhythm and lead on this kind of guitar. With this guitar, the concepts on this guitar are not any different from the concepts that we've been learning and the ones that we are still learning so far. It's just that these instruments play different roles in a band setting or in different genres or styles of music. So today in our first lesson we are going to look at some of the basic things that we need to start. So the first thing that you need, of course, is your availability. Making up your mind, committing yourself and deciding that I really want to learn this instrument, I want to become good at it. And if you're already playing it, telling yourself that you want to improve and become a better musician. So the first thing that you need is your availability. So time and commitment. Then the second thing that you'll need, of course, is the instrument. But one thing I must say about the instrument is that you do not have to, it's not a must that you should own an instrument like this for you to be able to learn the concepts. Because like I always say, the concepts are the same. So it's just the instrument that changes. The very concepts that I play on this or on this one are the same. For example, I will play the G chord. It's available on this guitar and it's also on this guitar. I can play the notes and I can play the same on this guitar. So you should not be limited by the fact that you do not own such an instrument. As a matter of fact, it took me about, let me see how many years. It took me several years before I could own a guitar, and this was my first guitar, and I got it 5 years after I had started learning the guitar. At first, I would borrow friends guitars. I'd practice at church at any chance I got to practice, when there was free space or free, like after service and all that, I'll get and try to play along. And even for this guitar, it took me, I think, after I got this guitar, that was after 5 years, then after like 2 years, that's when I finally owned a guitar of my own, and this was my first electric guitar. But by the time I got this, I already knew what to do. So you need a guitar. If you own one, fine, that's a tick. But if you don't have one, still the concepts that you are going to learn are going to be the same. And in most cases, for teaching purposes, I will be using this guitar. Then maybe sometimes once in a while for illustration purposes, I'll use this. But feel free to use this if you have. Get used to the sound, get used to, the fretboard and all that experience. But for the start, really we won't need much of this. So we'll use mostly this. But the concepts that we're going to look at are, for this. So this is called an electric guitar. Electric guitars come in all types. They are basically amplified, but what makes these different are the different coils, the different tones, and the sensitivity, and then the roles that they play. So we also have the electric bass, but today we are going to look at what we call the electric, or what we call the solo guitar. So in my country, it is commonly known as the solo guitar. It was popularized as the solo guitar because it is mainly used to play lead lines and solos, and basically when someone sees you holding this guitar, they expect strictly solos. But in this course we are going to learn the different roles and the different functions of this instrument. It can play rhythms, it can play heavy riffs, it can play melodic lines, and you can also play with, simple chord shapes and different patterns depending on what you need. It can be used with a clean tone, with distortion and all that. So that's the second thing that you need. Third thing that you need is a plectrum or a pick. And you need a pick that is thick enough not to keep bending as you play, so that you are able to, if you want to, ask for attention, if you want to perform those, fast pentatonic licks or pentatonic scales, and it can be able to serve you without bending. So I use 1.5 millimeter thickness when it comes to some of these things, to be able to perform some of those without disturbance from the pick. But you can choose a softer or even a heavier gauge. Really depends on taste and preference. But so we have the guitar plectrum, and then some of the other things that you need. One, basically, you need a cable like this one. Yeah, so you need to purchase a high quality cable. So a cable has two sides. It has one side that connects to the guitar, like that. So it is the one that is going to help you to amplify your sound by connecting it to the what you call the amplifier. So a cable, okay, and one, that brings us to another thing that we'll need, an amplifier. So I have a small amplifier, my first amplifier that came with my guitar, and it kind of does a good job. It has, input here, it has some gain. The drive section, we have gain for overdrive, we have volume, and then of course it has the drive function if you want to drive or play clean, that function, clean tone, equalization, of course, then power off, and what then you can also has provision for headsets. Some of us operate in places that do not want a lot of noise, so it has provision for headsets in case you want to use headsets. Of course, you need a connector then, like this one. So you connect there, then you insert your headsets there. So that is another thing that we need, an amplifier. Some people call it a combo, but you can call it, the function is to amplify the sound. So I have this Yamaha thing, but you can have even a bigger one if you need, or if you can. And of course, I assume that if you're already playing, you already own one, so probably you can just modify, or take it a notch higher, or use this one. So from the guitar to this, so if you're only using a guitar and an amp, you only need one cable. But if you're using the third tool that I'm going to introduce right now, which is called the pedal, you need a second cable. So this is a pedal, and this pedal, it's an effects pedal. It means it can add reverb, delay, echo, and all those other things, distortion, and help you to perform different sounds, clean, overdrive, and all those things. You need this effects pedal. If you're already playing, of course, I expect that you have one already. So this pedal, I think it's an axe pedal. You can use it. It can tune your instrument. It can help you to create loops and be able to play along. It has soundtracks that you can use, and then of course the different tones. And then of course the pedal comes with its power connector. So you connect it to power like that, connect to a power source, and then that is where you need the second cable. So the second cable right here, I connect. That means I'm going to connect from this pedal. I connect. It has to provision for two, so I have one where I connect from my guitar. So that means the first cable, the one that I showed you that connected direct to the amp, is now going to first come from my guitar to the pedal. Then, so you make sure that this that comes from your guitar connects to a port called input. And then we shall have this second cable now connecting from a port called output, and then connecting to your amplifier. So that means that now you have a connection of sound from your guitar to the pedal, which processes the sound and adds any effects that you want, and then takes it to the amplifier. And of course, if you're going to do like a recording, then of course now you'll need mics that will also further pick the sound from the amplifier to the audio station, where it can also be further processed and all those details. So that is basically the setup that you need for you to be able to have this electric guitar course. And of course you need a strap because this instrument is heavy. It is quite heavy, so sometimes it's hard to play it without a strap, especially if you're going to practice, let's say, like the standing position. You need a strap, and then of course you need to adjust it, accurately. Don't make it too short like this, and don't make it too long like this way, such that it's let me show you. So if it's too long, like way this side down, it will be hard for you to play, especially if you're a beginner. And I know you've seen some of your famous artists or guitar players, play them down like this. But that comes with experience and time, okay? So do not fall for those tricks. Yeah, do not fall for that. First, adjust your strap to make sure that it's at a fair height. Okay, so for standing position, at least I would advise this. Okay, in a place where you can still see your instrument and be able to perform some. Okay, like that height, not way down this side. Then of course if it can go a bit higher like that, okay, this height is also fine for standing position. Then of course when you're seated, it also offers more support to the instrument, because like I said, it's heavy. It can weigh down on your shoulder, so the strap is very important. And then of course resting it here like that, so you are able to perform those things that you need. Okay, then the other thing that you need to know about the electric guitar, the tuning function is the same. Some guitars like this one and many others have all the pegs on one side like this, like you can see. So still E, A, D, G, B, E. Okay, and the tuning, same thing. Okay, so the only difference that it has is that it has several pickups. And of course we have like this one is for selecting the different pickups. Okay, so we have these ones are called pickups, 1 2 3 4. Okay, and then we have different things on the guitar, on this guitar, that make it different. So this is called a whammy bar. It is for, you know, bending strings, changing tone and what, depending on what you want to get, making the guitar scream and all those things. But we shall look at those then. Then we have also the tone knob. So some guitars have two, like mine has two, but others have three or even more. So this one has the volume knob. Of course, this one is for controlling the sound, the volume, loudness and quietness. Okay, and then the tone. Tone is a topic that we'll have to discuss, especially now that we have gone into this series. Tone is a very important thing that we'll need to discuss. It's something I cannot explain to you at this point for you to understand it deeply, but it's something that we'll look at. So this is a tone, and then this is called a pickup selector. So we have what we call the neck and then the bridge. So these pickups, some of these, like this one and this one, they pick sound. For example, if I'm playing, this one has, pick selectors. This one has pickups. We have this pickup, we have this one and this one. So this one picks up the bridge, this one picks up the middle area, and then this one picks up the neck. And then we have the tone selector, the pickup selector, because we said these are pickups. So this one can select whether middle or neck, up or the bridge. So that's the use of this. This is called a pickup selector. And yes, that's basically our instrument. And that is everything that you need to know about the electric guitar. Of course, they do come in all sorts of sizes, colors, but that doesn't really matter. It will depend on your taste and preference. So remember to subscribe, like the videos, and hit the notification icon such that you always get notified and get these videos recommended to you if you are interested in learning or taking your playing to the next level. So remember to do that. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next lesson.